Now, let's go to everyone, flip the page. Go ahead. Okay, what's the deal with all of these? How many sides do you still know? You still know what? You always have to know two. I cannot give you a triangle with only one side known. I have to tell you two. But my question is, what do you call the longest side? Which is symbolized what? What's the symbol for hypotenuse? C, which means this time, do we find the C or do we have it? Which means what do we need to find? Either the A or the what? Depending on how you call it. Good. So it's the complete reverse. Yes. So no. So here, everyone, here is when we find the C. Here we find the what? The A or the B. On all of them, yes. Let's choose. Okay. So obviously, without thinking, I want you to do all this. Let's go, everyone. Call this C. Go ahead. C. 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 Oh, my bad. Okay, that's good. Sorry, I have to change the layout. And C. Where is C? It's the longest. C. Here you go. Thank you. Exactly. So now I have to call this either what? A or, you know what? Let's call this one A here. Go ahead. Let me just change the layout. There we go. Now we're good. Okay. So I'm going to change this. Oh, sorry, not change it. I'm going to call it A, which means I call this one what? B. So it's the B that we're trying to find. So what equation should I start with now? Exactly. Instead of C squared equal A squared plus B squared, I should start with what? A squared plus B squared. Why? Because the B that I want is then on the left side. So everyone, let's do this. Oops, my bad. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying A squared plus B squared. Please, everyone, when you write neatly. Don't write B squared like this. That's not B squared. That's just what? That's B2. Please make sure that your exponent or power does look small and it's on top. Okay, which two of these three do we know? We have A, B, and C. Which two are we given? We're given A and great. Whatever you know, plug it in. So the A, how long is the A? We said it's 2.3. So go ahead, 2.3 squared plus. Do I know the B or not yet? Whenever you don't know. Oh, 23. My bad. I know. Thank you. 23. Do I know the B or not yet? When you do not know a variable, keep calling it the same symbol until the end. So we're just going to call it. You can't put a number in its place because you don't know it yet. You will know it, but not now. B squared equals, how long is C? 26.40. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, let's, what do you call it? Let's square. What's the square of 23? Okay, well, 500, no, 400. Sorry, what was it? I forgot. I know that 22, 484, 529. All right, 529 plus B squared equals. Okay, what's the square of this one? 26.42. Oops, my bad. 6.42 squared. 6980164. Obviously, you might ask me, do you really want to keep all of these? You know what? It's an intermediate step. I have a habit of yes, just to make sure that my final answer is as good as possible. So 698 point what? 0164. Okay. Everyone, can I ask you a question here? Stop. My bad. Can someone tell me how to solve an equation like this? This is as basic as grade 9, 10 gets. Okay, very important to know this stuff. Shadi. So what do I do? Thank you. Move the what? Yes. You'd like to keep this one by itself because you want to find it. So you make sure that this one migrates to the other side. But what's the price of change? Uh-huh. So the price of crossing the equal sign is always what? What happens to the sign? It flips. Positive becomes minus. Minus. If this was a minus, if this was a minus, and you move it, what does it then become? You got it. Can I still do that kind of here as well? You might say, but I don't have a B here. I have a what? Yeah, it doesn't matter. You have something to keep where it is. So what's going to happen? Which one is going to move to the other side? This one moves here or this one moves here? Exactly. The numbers join, the pure numbers join together. So that means the good news is B squared stays where it is. 698.0164 minus, thank you, which means B squared is, see, this process is one step longer because you have to do in the moving thing. You didn't have to do it when you had the C to find. So I'm going to minus 529. I get this one. So it's 169.0164. And finally, what do I do? Square root it. Thank you. So square root. How much? Oh, question. What's the rounding here? Oh, what's the situation here? Go ahead. So how many decimals only? So everyone, 2 decimals. Not 1, not 3, exactly 2. Okay. So what is the square root of this right here? Square root. Can someone tell me what is this up to 2 decimals? Exactly. Obviously, you put the line right here. What does a 0 do to a 0? What does a 0 do to a 0? Exactly. If you again, remember, if you put your line here, this one is not affected. So here's my question, everyone. What if someone, listen up, what if someone puts the answer as just 13? Is that 2 decimals? No, that's what? That's what we call a whole number. The question says what? 2 decimals, which means you have to show me what? Even if both decimals are what? Exactly. If it says 2 decimals, you have got to show me 2 decimals, even if one or both of them is 0. Perfect. So it's 13.00. What's the unit for measurement here? Centimeters. Thank you very much. Okay, everyone, don't wrap up yet. Just one question. Does it make sense for that to be 13? Even if my diagram is not perfectly to scale, it's not like done 100%, with a ruler and everything. Does it make sense that that's 13? Let's think about it. The longest one has to be the what? And this one seems to be what? Longer. How long is this one? No, how long is this one? So this seems to be, has to be what? Less than 23. And it is. It's 13. By the way, whenever you want to check, just do the math again. All right? So let's just do an extra one for today, and then before we do the word problems. Okay? All right. So let's do this. Oh, my bad. Okay. So in this triangle right here, which one is length C or side C? Always raise your hand. Yeah. So okay. By the way, technically there are 2 long ones. Like there's the long leg and there's the longest. Which one? Yes, Kalen. The bottom one happens to be the what? Happens to be the longest. Also, what's another feature, everyone? What's another feature? Listen up, of the hypotenuse. Manel? It's directly what? Exactly opposite to the 90 degrees. This is next to it. This is next to it. This is straight across from it. Perfect. So let's actually label. So let me just change the layout because it's gonna screw up with me a little bit. Layout. Okay. So obviously we're gonna call the bottom one, as Manal said, the one opposite from the 90 degrees right here. We're gonna call it C. So go ahead, C. Now, does it matter if we call this one A or B? Nope, absolutely not. I think yesterday we called the one A. Let's call it B today. So I'm going to call it B. You can put it inside of the triangle or outside. Either way, you're completely good, which means this one has to be A. Okay, so which one are we trying to find? We're trying to find A. So which version of the equation do I start with? Haley? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Remember, when you're trying to find C, you start by saying C squared equals A squared plus B squared. If you're trying to find A or B, you just start by saying a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so I'll do it in green. A squared plus b squared equal c squared. Okay, what do we do now? We plug in every single number we know. Which one of those don't we know? Don't we? A. So we keep calling it what? A or a. We keep calling it a squared. So a squared plus. Now what's b? Anyone? 2.1. By the way, if you have a habit of putting it in brackets, go ahead, no problem. However, you don't have to. When do you need to put a number that has a power? When do you need to put the number in brackets? Like really need to. Usually, if you don't, it might lead to mistake. Shadi? Not quite. Like when do you put, okay, here, is this correct? Everyone, is this correct? Yeah, it is. But it's not needed. When do I need to put the number in brackets if there's a power? If the number is what? Sorry, Hiba? If it's a negative number. If it's a negative number, everyone, if there's a negative, please always put it in brackets. 100% of the time, whether you're doing math or physics or any science course. If it's positive, absolutely no need. I'm not going to say that I'm going to take marks off if you do put brackets here. If it's positive, you can completely do whatever you want. So I'm just going to put 2.1 squared. Equals what? What's C? Come on. 5.15. All right. Okay, let's plug in some numbers. We've got cell phones, we've got calculators here. So 2.1 squared is 4.41 equals 515. What is it, like 26 point something? Well, it's got to be more than 25. 26 point? Mm-hmm. Oh, 5,000? Okay, let's think about this for a second. If you square 5, if you multiply 5 times 5, do you ever get 1,000 or do you just get a little bit over 25? So, but you're telling me 1,000. Oh, again, remember, a decimal point and a comma, are they the same? No, a comma is for big numbers. So 40, by the way, just so you know. Okay, so what's the number? 25 point what? 5. Oh, 5. Oh, you were telling me the number after. By the way, okay, sorry. In general, in math, even if the number after the decimal is large, we don't call it 5,000. Do you see what I mean? Because technically it's not 5,000. We just say the digits. Make sense? Because if you're saying 5,000, you talk about this number before the what? Before the decimal point. Okay? So what is it? 5? Oh, it's 26. My bad. Sorry, I said 25 and I kept saying 25. 26.5 what? 225. All right, let's squeeze it. Nice. Okay, what happens now? I need to clean things up. Haley? I need to move the pure number to be next to the pure number. What's the price I have to pay? If it's a minus, it has to be a plus. Here it's a plus, so I have to switch it to a minus. Great. So a squared equals 26.5225. Subtract 441. Okay, which means a squared equals, what do we have? 11. Okay, I'll take the word for it. 11? 22.1125. What do I do with this number? Is this my final answer? Never. If this question is worth like 3 marks, you get maximum, or you get 2 out of 3 here. Okay? So I need to square root this number. Square rooting means what? What number do you need to multiply by itself to get you very close to 22.1125? All right. So I'm going to square root it. So 22.1125. What's the rounding situation for these problems? Do I need the nearest 10th or the nearest 100th? I don't know. By the way, I switch it up every question. Patrick, what do you need? What's up? The nearest 100th, which means, again, from yesterday, how many decimals am I only allowed to show? 2. Remember, 10th is 1 decimal. 100th is, thousandth is. By the way, I will never ask you for more than 1,000 because you, by the way, almost no math course you will ever need to show more than what? 3 decimal digits. I've never seen it, okay? Unless the teacher wants to see how large you can keep the decimals, but almost no one does that. So I need to cut it right here, everyone. I need to cut right here. So what's going to happen to the 0? Is it going to change or stay the same? It's going to stay the same because 2 is not going to bump it up. 2 is less than 5, so it keeps it the same. So the final answer is what? 4.70. So yes, hello?
Good morning.
Morning.
Is Ben Sloan there?
No, he's actually, I don't think he's in my class.
Not your class?
I don't see him. I didn't see him on the list.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. So 4.70. What am I missing to make this a perfect answer? Again? Exactly, the units. And the units, apparently, as Muhammad said, is millimeters. Millimeters. Done. That's it. Full marks. Okay? All right. Everyone, as you're copying, listen up. As you're copying, I just want to mention something. Obviously, a very valid question by students is, how much work do you want us to show? Okay. I would always love to see the first, which is the equation itself. How much you show of this, either one of these two, I'm fine with. Everyone, if you show this line and then jump here, I'm good. If you show this line and then jump here, I'm good. If you show either of those two lines and either of those two lines and then this line, I think even if you make a mistake, you get most of the part marks. Okay, again, remember, showing more work is actually for you. The lesser you show and you make a mistake, I still don't know what wrong turns you have made, so I kind of have to take marks off. Okay, so that's it. Obviously, my solutions are super detailed, not a single step is skipped. Okay. All right. So now let's go to the first word problem for today. Okay. So let's look at the problem. Okay. So you are playing baseball game with your friends. Okay. Baseball game is always played on a well, it is a square, but it's usually called the baseball diamond because it looks like a diamond. Okay. Another name for a diamond that we might cover is rhombus. Fancy name. Let's just call it diamond. Okay. So on a field shown on the side right here, everyone, these are called bases. First base, second base, third base, home. Okay. So the whole objective of baseball is to what? Is to make a home run. Is to make a home, basically to go once around the whole around the whole pitch or the whole field. So you need to run directly from third base to first base. The question is, with this diagram, how far in feet is actually that distance from third that you have to run from third to first? Okay, well, let's see this. We have, if you're starting from here, third base, and you're making your way to first base. So that means you are actually cutting it not this way, not this way. You're cutting it straight this way. Yes. So the question is basically, how long is that green line? How long is that green line? First of all, what shape was there originally? A square, right? Whenever you cut a square in half, what do you produce? You produce two what? You produce two triangles, and not just any triangles. You produce two what triangles? You produce two 90-degree triangle or right triangles, exactly. So the good news is now, I don't have to look at the whole thing. I don't have to look at both. I can choose to look at either. So you know what? Let's just say we're going to look at the what? At the top triangle. So I have a habit always, whenever I have a big diagram and I just need a small part of it, I extract it. I just take it out just to focus on really what matters. So go ahead, everyone, and just sketch roughly. No need for rulers. If you need them, they're right here. Just try your best to make this angle 90. So don't make it like this. Just try your best to make it a 90, like a perfect right corner. So kind of like this. See, even my diagram is not perfect, but you know what? It gets the idea across. There we go. What do I put here? The box. Okay. How long is each of the legs? How long is each leg? 90 feet. Exactly. So let's put it 90 feet here. By the way, again, I'm not going to take marks off if you do not put units on diagrams. So units, honestly, if they are already on one of the diagrams, you do not have to repeat them again. If you say 90, I understand it's 90 feet. Just remember to put units always where? In your what? In your final answer. That's it. No need to put them in intermediate steps. I'm not really particular about that. Okay. And we're trying to find this guy. Okay, let's label. What side is the question mark? What side is the question mark, Patrick? The hypotenuse. So labeling wise, what should I label it? A, B, or C? C. There's no other choice. So go ahead and we label it as C. Does it matter which one gets called A or B now? No. That's the case of what? Identical two legs. By the way, just again, we're gonna run into these names after. Does anyone know what we call a triangle that has only two? Does anyone know what we call a triangle that has three identical sides? Like the most perfect triangle in the universe. Three identical sides. This one is as big as this one, is as big as this one. Kareem? Equi means equal. Lateral means sides. So basically, it's Latin or Greek for equal sides. What do you call it if it's only two sides? Maybe two spread out like this, or too thin but long. Patrick, what do you call it? Isosceles. This is an example. Okay, what's the worst case? No side is like the other two. Like all three sides are different. Do you know what we call that? So the perfect one is equilateral. The next perfect one is isosceles. What do you call one that all three sides are different? Like this one, like the one from the 90 degrees kit, and this short, this is long, and this is the longest. Kareem, do you know? Scalene. Scalene is one where three sides are different. Good. It's good to know these names. All right. So here, because you said it doesn't matter, I'm just going to say this is A and this is B. Which one am I trying to find? A or B or C? So which equation do we use? The one that starts with the thing I want, which is C squared. Awesome. And the rest is just basically what? Laying down the steps. So let's start. So C squared equal A squared plus B squared, which means C squared equals, good news, 90 plus 90. So C squared equals, what's 90 squared? Well, that's easy. Forget about the zero. Well, don't forget about it. Just let it go for now. 9 times 9 is, even the other way, 8,100. Yeah, so it's 81 with two zeros. So it's 8,100. Guess what? Plus another 8,100. You know what? I'm going to do all the addition on one side. What's 8,100 plus 8,100? So it's 8,000 plus 8,000, which is 16,000. And 100 plus 100 is 200. 16,200. Do I want to always see this? What do you think? Nope. Everyone, in case you are a fan of splitting up the numbers, sorry, the digits in big numbers, go ahead and use the comma. However, everyone, one important thing about using the comma. When you use the comma, where do you start counting the numbers? From the left side of the number or the right side? My question is, if I put 16,200, is this correct? No, why not? I still counted 3, 1, 6, and 2. But why is it incorrect? Why is this completely wrong? That's not how we do count. Say again? No, but the location of the comma is incorrect. Manal, what do you think? Oh, I thought. Sorry. Shadi. If it's 162,000, it has to look like this. But it's not. Keelan, go ahead. Everyone, you never count from this side. You always count from what? You see what I mean? You never count from here. You count from where? The beginning or the end of the number? End. So you count and you go 3 this way. Is it making sense? So for example, if I give you this number, if I tell you, here's a number, 3571128 9. Put the commas. Where do you start counting from for sure? Beginning or end? Always end. Never count from the beginning. So you count from here and you go 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3. So can someone read this number for us now? Okay, go ahead. Give it a try. No problem. 35 million 1,289. Imagine if you did it the other way. Imagine if you start counting at the beginning. How would it look like? Does that make sense? Absolutely not. You always have to have threes starting from here. Okay, so never start at the beginning. Good. I just want to make sure that we know that. So obviously, if the number is too small, by the way, this is not too small, but you know what? No need. It's up to you. I will never take marks off if you do or don't put them. What do I do with this number now? Is this how long you have to run in feet? That is way too far. You square root this guy. So square root 16,200. How much is that? I don't know. I just know one thing. Could it ever be less than 90? So why can't it be less than 90? Haley? Because the hypotenuse by default is both what, as you said, opposite to the 90, and the what in the triangle? The what? The longest. So it has to be more than 90. How much more? I don't know. Depends on how big these get. The bigger the triangle, the longer the base. So this guy would be 16,200 square root. Is that correct? Okay. What's the rounding situation? 1 decimal. So nearest tenth in a way. So let's see. I'm going to cut it right here. 27.3. The 7 here, everyone, the 7 is going to bump this one up. Awesome. So you're going to have to run practically a distance of 127. You know what? Just for now, I'm going to put it like this. And then just to show on the video that we're doing the rounding. And that means 127.3 in what? Full marks. That's it. And you can, 1 second, you can always just, if you want, like point to it. I'm not going to take marks off. Yes. Sure. Any questions? Yes, Manal. Go. What's up? Oh, were you here the first day or no? Okay. Who remembers what I said about therefore statement? Do I need them? Nope. You were with the which teacher? Everyone, when it comes, listen up. When it comes to, okay, listen up, everyone. When it comes to showing your steps and the layout of the solution and being neat and detailed, unlike other math teachers, okay? But when it comes to basically what very small details, I'm okay if you if you skip them. I honestly never need a therefore statement. And my reasoning is, if you show me all of this neat work, do you need to tell me that this is your final answer? Make sense? Also, if you really want to just give me a therefore statement without giving me a therefore statement, once you get to your final answer, what do you just do? Square it, box it, just tell me this is the end. Make sense? If you still, by the way, probably we're going to go to another teacher, what they're going to ask you for again. So it's completely up to you. You want to skip it now, but make sure you remember it for Mr. Fonseca, for example, up to you. You want to keep doing it like Manel probably is going to do? No problem, 100%. And by the way, Manel, I saw you wrote it perfectly. What is the symbol in math for therefore instead of writing the word therefore? What's the symbol? How many dots? Exactly. But which way? Because there's also this symbol. Is this therefore? No. Does anyone know what this one is? In case you know it. This is when you say since. So if you want to say since A and B are whole numbers, blah, 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 this is since. But what is therefore? What just happens? Exactly. It's a legit triangle like this. That's therefore. You can just say then therefore, uh, distance is 127.3. Please do not bother doing that in my course. All right. Last one for this handout. Okay. Come on. So you are, sorry, Darlene, I mean, goes camping with her kids. As they put up the tent, okay, which is, by the way, is the tent equilateral triangle? Are all the sides of the tent the same? So if it's not equilateral, but two sides are the same, what did we call it again? Isosceles. ISOSCELES. Isosceles, everyone's like this. ISOSCELES. Okay. No need to know it. We can just say it and that's it. Okay. She discovers that she forgot what she forgot, or somehow what's missing? The vertical tent pole, the one that supports the top all the way to the ground. Okay. as shown in the diagram. What is the length in feet of the what of the tent pole she needs to buy to make sure that the tent stays upright and supported and all good? Okay, question for you. The whole triangle, listen up. The whole triangle, is it a right triangle? The whole triangle. Do you see a 90-degree in the whole triangle? Well, I don't think so. This is definitely not 90-degree. What could this one be? I don't know, maybe 50, 60 degrees. It's identical on this side, so this is 50 and 60. Question for you. Any triangle in the universe, all the angles must add up to what? By the way, this is a question in today's quiz, so I'm kind of giving you a freebie. All the angles in, I don't care what triangle you can sketch. It, again, 180. Okay, 180. No triangle could be what? More or? It's exactly 180. This is a geometric fact of this universe. So that means, for example, if this is 50 and this is 50, can someone guess what this whole thing is? Exactly. Why? Because 50 plus 50 is 100 plus 80 has to be 180. Perfect. However, can we do something to this triangle to produce a right triangle? Actually, you don't have to. It's already kind of done for you. Hiba, what do we do? Exactly. If you cut any symmetric triangle perfectly in half, you produce how many right triangles? Two, a right side and a left side. And that is what we need to focus on. Sorry. So, everyone, let's say that we're going to take this side right here. So go ahead and, oh, my bad. Let's actually sketch it. I think this is a good space. Go ahead, everyone. That's it. All right. Here's my 90. Okay, let's put some measurements here. Let me just finish this one. Okay. Do we know how long this one is? This one. Do we know how long the vertical one is? No, that's the whole point. We need to find that. Do I know how long the tilted one is, the slanted one? Yes, I do. It's the exact 5. I just took it out and put it here. So this one is 5. Remember, no need to say 5 feet. You can just say 5. How long would this one be? Really? Prove to us it's 3. How? What's the only reasoning? It has to be 3. Exactly. We said it's identical. When you cut something in half, this one gets half, this one gets half. So half of 6 would be definitely 3 feet. Perfect. And the one we're trying to find is this guy. Okay, what's my labeling? What do I call the 5? A, B, or C? Okay. Question for you. No, hold on. Question for you. Math. Everyone, please. In my class, no need to guess. Okay, just give it a thought, and you will see that you can get. Faisal, one question for you. Which one is the longest side? Definitely, like really look like the longest. The question mark side, the 3, or the 5? The 5. What do you call the longest side in a triangle? Hypotenuse. What's the symbol for the hypotenuse? A or B or C? You see, you just answered yourself. Do you see how we think about it? No, but you told me A, and then you told me B. Just give it a few seconds, and you will figure it out. So everyone, this is C here, which means this one could be either what? So let's go for B this time, which means I want to find A. So which equation do I use? Yes, thank you. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. All right. Which means A squared is going to stay the same, untouched, because I have no idea what it is yet. Plus B is the 3. So it's a 3 squared equaling 5 squared. Okay, let's clean up the numbers more. Oh, good, no decimal. 3 squared is what? What's 3 squared? Sorry. Yeah, 9. And that should not be an equal, my bad. Plus 9 equals 25. What do we need to do? We take this one with its sign. Look, everyone, with the sign. And we move it here. So it becomes what? A squared equaling 25 minus 9. You can, in this case, you can just keep going on the same line, equals. Can anyone tell me what's 25 minus 9? 16. Nice. Why nice? Because this actually what has a perfect square root. The square root of 16 is what? A solid 4. Now, the problem if you say just 4, or sorry, the problem if you leave it as 4, you're not what? You're not following the rounding properly. It says what? But there is no, but it's natural. It's just what? But you need to show a decimal place. If you don't have any decimals and you need to show a decimal, what do you just show? You just say 4.0. What if it was two decimal places? You just put what? 4.00. So whenever you just need to make a decimal and you don't have any, just slap 0 because you know what? It really does not change the number. Okay? So A is equal to 4.0. What's the unit? B. Check. So she needs to buy a what? She needs to buy a pole that's 4 feet long. If it's any longer, that's going to be a problem. Why? Everyone look. If it's longer, it's not going to connect because this is not tall enough or not long enough. If it's shorter, the tent might have to actually what? Kind of like, this is still going to be 5 feet, but it will be like a wider tent, but it's going to be lower.